Nigeria 2023, the Presidency. How important is the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Once in every 4 years since 1999, Nigerians are expected to exercise a civil right called voting, where adult citizens from 18 years of age and above choose individuals who are entrusted with the nation's wealth and resources used to run the government in several capacities. One of such individuals elected is the President of the nation. We take a look at who the President is, the criteria for qualification, his roles in office, and expected characteristics, as this will help to paint a clear picture of how important voting the right candidate is to the progress of our dear country, Nigeria. The office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is both head of state and head of government. He is also the Commander-in-Chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces. He is elected during national elections conducted by the Independent National Electoral Commission, which take place every 4 years. Nigeria is a federal republic, which is a federation of states with a republican form of government, and in other words, a country that is governed by elected representatives and by an elected leader, such as a president, rather than by a king or queen. In a federal republic, there is a division of powers between the federal government and the government of the individual subdivisions, which in the case of Nigeria are called states and local governments. Matters related to security and defense and monetary policy are usually handled at the federal level, while matters such as infrastructure maintenance and education policy are usually handled at the state or local level. This system of decentralization or division of powers from the federal government down to the states and local governments, backed by a written constitutional document, is more favorable to large, populous and multi-ethnic countries like Nigeria. In 1979, Nigeria adopted a federal presidential constitution, returning her back to democratic rule. The legislature is a bicameral national assembly comprising a Senate and a House of Representatives, with powers similar to those of its American counterpart. Then, the office, powers, and titles of the head of state and the head of government were officially merged into the office of the Presidency under this 1979 Constitution of Nigeria. Alhaji Shehu Shagari became the first democratically elected president under the National Party of Nigeria after more than 13 years of military rule. Former military head of state Olusegun Obasanjo became the second elected civilian president under the People's Democratic Party in 29 May 1999, serving 2 terms in office. Alhaji Umaru Yar'Adua was sworn in as the third democratically elected president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in May 2007, the 13th head of state of Nigeria. Yar'Adua died on May 5, 2010 in the presidential villa in Abuja, Nigeria. Vice President Goodluck Jonathan was sworn in as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the 14th head of state in 6 May 2010. The current President, Muhammadu Buhari, took office on May 29, 2015 as the 15th President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. As stipulated in the Nigerian 1999 Constitution, Section 130, subsections 1 and 2, it says, "There shall be for the Federation a President. The President shall be the head of state, the Chief Executive of the Federation, and the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federation." So the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is primarily the head of state, the head of government, or the chief executive of the Federation, and the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. Criteria for qualification. To qualify for this office, a person must have met the following criteria as stipulated in the Nigerian 1999 Constitution. According to Section 131, a person shall be qualified for election to the office of the President if he is a citizen of Nigeria by birth, has attained the age of 40 years and above, is a member of a political party, and is educated for up to at least school certificate level or its equivalent. According to Section 137, a person shall not be qualified for election to the office of the President if he has acquired the citizenship of a country other than Nigeria, has been elected to such office at any 2 previous elections, is adjudged to be a lunatic or declared to be of unsound mind, is under a death sentence by a court of law or tribunal in Nigeria, or imprisoned or fined for any offense involving dishonesty or fraud, has been convicted and sentenced for an offense involving dishonesty within a period of less than 10 years before the date of the election, is an undischarged bankrupt, still employed in the civil or public service, and has not resigned, withdrawn, or retired at least 30 days before the date of election, is a member of any secret society, has been indicted for embezzlement or fraud, or has presented a forged certificate to the Independent National Electoral Commission. His roles in office. Head of State. As head of state, the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is the highest ranking constitutional position in the country. Most importantly, the President is a living national symbol of the country. Thus, he officially represents her in unity and legitimacy. This is a reason why official portraits of the head of state can be found in government offices, courts of law, or other public buildings, making the public aware of the symbolic connection to the government. Parts of his symbolic roles include playing host to important foreign visitors, particularly visiting heads of state, with activities like playing of the national anthem by a military band, inspection of military troops, official exchange of gifts, and attending a state dinner, attending national occasions such as artistic or sports performances or competitions, expositions, National Day celebrations, dedication events, military parades and war remembrances, prominent funerals, visiting different parts of the country and people from different walks of life, and at times performing symbolic acts such as cutting a ribbon, groundbreaking, ship christening, laying the first stone are all other examples of his symbolic roles. The Nigerian president is also often designated the high contracting party, the one who represents the country in international treaties, signs them either personally or has them signed in his name by ministers, government members, or diplomats. He is the figurehead on continental, international, and diplomatic grounds, such as Economic Union for West African States, African Union, Commonwealth Nations, United Nations, etc. Head of Government or Chief Executive of the Federation. As the head of government, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is the de facto or legitimate Chief Executive Officer, the Chief Officer of the executive branch of government, often presiding over a cabinet of ministers while operating separately and independently from the National Assembly. His major roles are implementing policies, supervising the executive branch of government, preparing the national budget for submission to the National Assembly, and appointing and removing executive officials. most or all the key officials in the government, including ministers, key judicial figures, and all major office holders in the civil service, foreign service, and commissioned officers in the military based on the approval of the National Assembly. Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is explicitly designated as the Commander-in-Chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces, the Nigerian Army, the Nigerian Navy, and the Nigerian Air Force, while holding the highest office in all military chains of command. He is the person exercising supreme command authority of the Nigerian military forces or significant element of those forces through the Ministry of Defense, which is responsible for the management of the military and its personnel. Working together with the Minister of Defense, the Chief of Defense Staff, and a Security Council made of top military personnel, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria spearheads the security within the nation and defense against external attack. Expected characteristics. Having seen the roles of the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, from representation to decision-making, direction, and execution, it is very important that any person occupying that office must possess these characteristics, which equip him for the great task ahead: strong and clear vision, effective communication skills, dignity and integrity, courage to make unpopular decisions, humility, and wise appointments. Strong and clear vision. The President must be a visionary, one who has a clear picture and projection of where the country should be in the nearest future. This must go beyond the vague promises of free education, good roads, uninterrupted power supply, abundant job opportunities, favorable spending power, etc., that is commonly made by Nigerian politicians. His strong and clear vision must be the driving force for his appointments, decisions, policies, and execution, without any form of sentiment or personal aggrandizement. Nigeria is already bedeviled by a lot of issues, including large-scale poverty, systemic corruption, nepotism, ethno-religious bigotry, insecurity, unaccountability, mass illiteracy, gross unemployment, and a faulty legal national framework. Only a great visionary will be able to lead this country to its desired destination, just as it were with all other developed nations. Effective communication skills. Being able to effectively communicate his intentions, plans, and strategies to the rest of government and citizenry cannot be overemphasized. This would also mean that he is vastly abreast with knowledge of the issues of governance and the current trends of world politics, has a good amount of expertise of systemic governance, and most importantly, a heart for the people of the nation. As a leader, he must be patient, open-minded, a good listener, tolerant, and willing to carry everyone along. This team spirit will make his goals achievable and his regime successful. Dignity and integrity. As the head of state and head of government, the President is the example of the ethics of the people. If the nation is corrupt, indolent, and unproductive, then it is a clear representation of its head. As much as he carries himself in pride of the nation and charisma, he must also be a man of his words, a man who upholds fairness, equity, and justice to all, and values his reputation more than sentiment and personal gains. He must pay back the trust of the mandate given to him by the citizenry by handling the resources of the nation in honesty, accountability, and delivery. Courage to make unpopular decisions. Wielding the highest constitutional power and authority in the land would also require that the President is one who is wise, discreet, and impartial to make decisions that sometimes may not be popular and conspicuous, but for the general good of the nation, not in favor of a few. This will require the courage to step on toes, seeing how largely diverse, multi-ethnic and multi-religious Nigeria is, and also considering the powers that be, if you know what I mean. Humility. Common with many Nigerian office holders is a sense of arrogance, recklessness, impunity, and non-accessibility that follow after amassing power. The president must be a humble man, one who appreciates the privilege to serve the nation for 4 to 8 years. He must acknowledge himself to be a servant to the people and not a monarch. He must be accountable to the citizenry and to the structures of government. Wise appointments. The selection of those who the president will be working with is another reflection of who he is, without fear, favor, or any form of prejudice. He must appoint the best hands in all key sectors of economy, infrastructural development, governance, socio-religion, etc. These appointees must be technocrats, patriots, and enthusiasts, equally representing the diversity of the nation, people of integrity, sound judgment, and charisma. Seeing how important the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is to the Nigerian state, I leave you with these 3 questions. Is the current president a true representative of this office? Which of the current presidential candidates have the characteristics desired of the office? Do you think the Nigerian people are ready to set aside their differences and sentiments of religion and ethnicity in voting for the right president? Drop your comments below, like the video, share, and subscribe to the channel to enjoy the next issue on Nigeria 2023, the Presidency.